What's up guys, Wolf here, welcome to another Remnant 2 video. In today's video, I'm going to showcase a very powerful shotgun build. We are able to one-shot enemies in the highest difficulty Apocalypse. I'm going to be utilizing the SPOREBLOOM shotgun. Now you can use any weapon you would like, but I would recommend shotguns because of the way I've spec'd the setup. So the SPOREBLOOM has one bullet in the magazine, but we can do a lot of damage per shot. Thousands and thousands of damage per shot. That's how we're able to one-tap the enemies. Now, if you're going to be playing from a bit further out, I wouldn't really recommend using this shotgun. You can buy the drum shotgun from the vendor early on. That is very good. I actually leveled most of my progress through the game with that gun. But this SPOREBLOOM gun is just so incredibly strong once it's leveled up. Now, mine is only level +7. So keep that in mind. We can get the damage way over 700. Mine's at about 480 per shot. So this gun's fall-off range is 30 meters. So if you're going to be shooting from distance, you're not going to hit your shots because the reticle's quite big. So I recommend speccing accuracy. As you guys can see from the gameplay, if you shoot a bit further out, it's easy to miss the pellets. But the ideal range is 10 meters. So that's why I've got Challenger as my secondary archetype slot. It's good for close quarter combat. And then I've chosen Invader. Invader is really good because you want to be moving around a lot, sending out decoys and dishing out that juicy 300% damage on the initial shot from using the wormhole archetype skill. It gets you out of trouble, allows you to be aggressive, and then that first shot, which is all we need to one-shot these enemies, is going to come from that skill. Now we can lower the cooldowns. Mine's at 27 seconds. We can get this back quite often just by speccing more and upgrading it. But I need to push this build a lot further. I still need to upgrade all my things. I'm sure you guys understand it takes time. But we've got 2 charges of wormhole, and this is going to be good. Now on the prime perk is going to be Shadow. I think it's important to use Invader as the prime perk. It's just too good. We leave a decoy, so you'll see a decoy getting the aggro, which is really, really good. And so casting an Invader skill leaves a decoy for 3 seconds, which draws enemy fire. It's just a good way to take aggro away from you. Deal 15% additional damage to enemies not targeting Invader, so we get further damage there. You can use Challenger as your primary, or you can use any other archetype to pair up with whatever. It doesn't matter, but I recommend these two, Invader and Challenger. And the Challenger skill is going to be really good. Rampage. You guys can see when I kind of charge up myself, my character just becomes enraged at going to berserk mode, which is so powerful. We'll go through that a bit later in the setup video. But this build is great, very aggressive. We can utilize our skills, get high range damage, high crit chance, high crit damage. It's a great setup, and let's get into the actual details of the build. So armor pieces, that is completely up to you. I have chosen the Dragon Heart, and as you guys can see, my fragments, I've gone for range crit damage, range crit chance, and skill cooldown. Skill is going to be the wormhole for the Invader, and for the Challenger, it's going to be Rampage. So I really wanted to try and spec that up. I want to upgrade these to push this build to the max. Then the archetypes. Let's take a look. As I mentioned earlier, the Invader is really good. We get some great perks that synergize really well. To keep in mind, to just keep this in mind, the Shark damage perk is very good, and we need to try and make sure we are stacking this. So sprinting for 1 second or evading adds 1 stack of momentum, which increases ranged and melee damage by 7%. This stacks 5 times, and it also gives us critical chance, which is really, really good. So we need to keep this in mind, watch our bar at the bottom, and try and stack this as much as we can. We get loads of other utility here. Same with the Challenger, but I think the prime perk is very important, and it's arguably one of the best in the game currently. This skill, Wormhole, is so good. Huge damage, great movement. I recommend giving it a try. There are other ones that are viable, but I recommend this for the setup. It's going to be perfect with this gun. Then Challenger, you can use Juggernaut. That's probably what I would recommend if you didn't want to go for Rampage or you haven't unlocked it yet. This is just really, really good. Range damage goes up, and once we reach that stacks, it's going to be doubling the Rampage effects. So when we enter that state, fire rate is increased, reload speed and movement speed. It's just great for getting around and dishing out the damage. So the weapon, here it is. Now, if you don't have this gun, you can just use a drum shotgun. Works just as well, but it's not going to be able to do that initial one shot. So you might struggle in some areas, but there's a lot of viable shotguns in this game. Spore Shot isn't actually that good. I don't recommend the mod. I don't recommend even trying to use this too much. I don't think it's very good, but let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed it, or if you've given it a try, or you found a use for it. Slayer is going to be the actual mutation or the mutator. Reloading increases the damage of this weapon next shot by 10%. Last 3 seconds. We are always reloading because we only have one bullet, so this makes perfect sense. I would recommend Slayer. I think it's actually the best mutator in, well, for this build and for this gun. Secondary, I've got the Smolder melee, it's up to you, and the Silverback for longer ranges. This gun is really strong. I hit high amounts of damage to the head or in the weak points, and its single shot damage from range is really, really good. So I recommend it, but you can use any weapons you want there. Have a look at the traits. You guys will see I've got Untouchable. This is the evade window. I don't really care too much about this. This is from the Invader, obviously a strong back from Challenger. Ammo reserves is important. Expertise. Handling is very important. I would recommend at least going for 5 handling, but it's up to you. Endurance, Spirit, and Vigor. It's really, really dependent on how you want to be playing. I would, if you're going to be playing Apocalypse, go for more Vigor, but it's really up to you. More health does help. Then, I think with the amulets, guys, now this is really dependent on what you want. There are some amulets that give you more damage than this when you take damage. Are you going to be more of a tank? I don't have that much armor. I have spec'd into slightly more than I would want. I might actually lower it down, but if you want to be a tank, you can go for that other amulet, or if you want to go for this one, it just gives you a 15% increase to all damage. Consuming a relic doubles the bonus for 15 seconds. I think that's a lot, and it's really dependent on you. There are many options here. Just try and choose the one that suits your playstyle the most. This ring is good. Burden of the Destroyer increases ideal range of decreases ideal range of all firearms by 25%, increases all damage dealt by 15. You don't have to use this. I really found it to be powerful, and I've done some testing. I really do enjoy this ring. Fey Hunter ring increases range of firearms by 30%. That's just for the shotgun to try help myself if I need to shoot enemies from longer ranges, like especially the ones that are flying in the air. Increases firearm swap speed by 30% and reload speed by 10%. Reload speed is very important with this gun because you want to be firing as quick as possible, especially considering it's a one-shot weapon. So I recommend reload speed. It's very, very strong. Then reduces initial spread and recoil by 35%. Try and get this guy's point focus. We're all going to have different rings. This is very strong. Now, with Gunslinger's ring, I actually could recommend another one, which will give you huge reload speed. You can go for the Outcast ring. Increases reload speed by 5% for 15 seconds after reloading. Stacks 5 times. This could be really powerful. There's so many other options. It is really dependent on you and how you want to play or what your playstyle is. So just keep that in mind. That's going to be the build, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have you tried this gun? Are you going to use the setup that I've shown today? And with that being said, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Peace out.